Hello, today is Saturday, January 15th, and our message today is great, tomorrow is even greater. I'm really excited about today's spread. It is a divination spread. So I'm going to start with an oracle from the Gaia Oracle set. So really going into Mother Earth here for some energy to, oh, there we go, to guide this reading. And it's a 10 card spread, so I will sort of read about, and I'll keep this in the middle while I shuffle and read about what today's spread is encompassing. And our energy here from the Gaia Oracle is eternal love, happiness, harmony, and fulfillment. Beautiful. Let's really focus on that card for a little bit while I get the rest going. So on this day, today's the feast day of Carmenta, and she's the powerful Italian goddess of divination and childbirth. So chiefly observed by women, this feast celebrated Carmenta and her powers of prophecy. She protected mothers and acted as a patron saint of midwives. Pregnant women offered Carmenta rice for safe delivery, while those desiring fruitfulness ate raspberries to internalize her fertility. So this summation of this spread really is asking us, are you ready to invoke the powers of a goddess? So let's access Carmenta's divination and ultimate feminine graces with this special spread, excellent for personal empowerment on every level. So imagine you stand before the sacred steps of Carmenta's temple, offering herbs, stones, and fruit. Cast your cards in a circle while asking for her wisdom. And her name is derived from the Latin Carmen, meaning a magic spell, oracle, or song. It is also the root of the English word charm. So for any Carmens out there, here is a Carmenta divination spread. And because it was such a goddess energy, a rooted energy, I thought it would be a really mother energy. That's why I chose this Gaia Oracle deck. And like I said, we got eternal love. So I'll put this over here and I will begin setting up the spread. So we're going to do 10 cards going clockwise. 2, 3, 4, see, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Make sure I get everything in here, that they're even. I want to keep bumping the camera. I got some messages telling me that my camera's been a little wobbly. All right, I think we're good there. Okay, so let's get started. I'm really excited about this one. So the divination spread. So in this first spot here, we have the 4 of Cups. And the question we're asking, as we're imagining standing there and, casting our cards in this way and asking her for wisdom is, how can I use my divinatory skills to their best potential? And the 4 of Cups is telling you that the way you want to use your powers or your skills, right, of divination to its fullest is to accept them. So we're sitting here, we're comfy, we're under this shaded tree, we're being offered a cup. We have 3 cups, we're good. We're being offered another cup, right? I think of this as, if we have, all of our senses, and we're being offered to develop all of our senses a little bit more, or to open divination as another sense that we have. And so we're being offered that. And the way we can really use it to our full potential is to accept it. So here we're being guided and we're being told that we have it. We all have that ability to, use tarot, to use symbolisms and really pay attention, living in the present and seeing, when you're like, what draws you to come and watch these videos? And when you're watching them, how do you decide like what calls to you when you're scrolling through YouTube and you find a video you want to watch. When you stop, when you're looking at it, when you're looking at the person's setup, is, what is it about that there is something that you are connecting with. And being aware of that is how you really, start to use your divination skills to its full potential. It's having that offering and accepting it. In the second spot here, we have, what magic do I possess? And we have the Temperance, which is, what you possess? You possess balance, and you possess the ability to understand balance, to work with balance, to be balanced amongst your different the different areas of your life that you encompass. You have, your magic is angelic, it's divinely guided. This hand is coming out of the sky, right? So how do you, use those skills? It's not just accepting them, it's acknowledging that they are divine. They are divinely guided. They're being offered to you by the angels, by God, by source. What that other realm that is unseen, but it exists. And part of that, she has one foot in the water and one foot on the ground. So it's maintaining the stability and the rootedness that you're here on this earth in this time and place, that you find yourself while having your other foot dipped in. So it's not just the earth, it's also dipped in the water, that emotion, like in your heart, knowing that you can maintain a knowing of where you are in the physical world, while also knowing that something greater than this exists. And that is really where where you possess your magic. In the sweet spot, we have, what do I bring to this world? And we have the Chariot card. I think as I go along, I'll feel more comfortable sharing more and more of, I guess, meanings to each card, whether they're astrological or just my own personal interpretation. It's day 15 as I get my own footing and grounding of doing readings in this modality. Um, I, I'm definitely still reading. It's intuitive, it's coming to me, but I know that I'm not going too much into like, this is a Cancer card or an Aries card and extra layers of that I do, but I'm not quite ready to espouse that on here yet, as I'm still trying to find my just find my bearings in reading the spreads as they're coming up, and I'm not doing them prior. I've done them, years back. So I just wanted to say that because I saw this and I thought, oh, if you're a Cancer, and I was going to go down a whole other realm. And then I got another message that was louder that said stick to the spread. But I wanted to give that little disclaimer. So what do I bring to this world? And the Chariot card represents perseverance, commitment, a loyalty, not giving up to your purpose. Knowing what that purpose is. Or even if you're not clear and you're still asking yourself, like, why am I here? What is my purpose? This Cancer card as to what you bring to the world. I said it again. This Chariot card, what it brings to this reading is telling you that what you bring is perseverance, it's commitment, it's not taking a shortcut, not looking for an easy way out, but staying the path, and staying the path until the objective is complete. And in divination, I think that's a really strong quality to possess in terms of what you're bringing, because it is energy that is loyal and committed to the cause of what it is that motivates you in your purpose. And that's a really great trait to possess. And is that, if that's what you're bringing, that is what you're bringing, and that's really a magical place to be. So as you're learning divination, or if you're getting back into it, or you're looking to strengthen your divination, take this as a message that you are on that right path, and your path is leading you towards what you want to accomplish. Especially, if you're asking for this wisdom and more personal empowerment. You're definitely, accept, accept the angelic, divine intervention, angelic, help that you have, working with you. Continue to balance in these realms. And what you're bringing is that commitment, that focus to stay the path. What new beginning should I embark on? You have an Ace of Wands. How much more of a beginning is that than an ace? An ace is a beginning of something. It is a new opportunity, a new chance to do something either just new or picking something up again. And so how you should embark on this new beginning, whatever it is that you're asking. And really, I'm being called to discuss just this process of divination and how do you maybe incorporate it into your daily practice or make it a practice of yours. It could be once a month, once a week. It could be, like reading your horoscope every day or something. It could be how do you begin to use tools to um, ask questions from this higher realm that you are being offered and that you do have a connection to. And so how do you embark on that or apply it to any particular area that you're asking? It's that this is the moment to embark on it. In this time, you are being offered this opportunity to embark on something new and something that's deeply seated in innovation and creativity and passion and really fulfilling of a desire and a wish, something that you've wanted to do. And now it's your time to embark on it. So definitely looking at what are some things that, creative projects that you've been thinking about. This is the time to embark on them. And how you start is really asking yourself those questions, like where do you want to change something up? Where do you want to innovate? Where do you want to take your creativity? And this is, once again, we're having the hand of source, of spirit, offering you everything you need to jump off and know that you're not just jumping empty-handed into a void. You're being supported by your ancestors, by your guides, and you are being guided to take those leaps now. And this is the moment. So embarking is just making the decision that you're going to start that today and feeling empowered that you are being guided to take the initiative to take on whatever it is that we're asking for, right? In this moment of using this spread for divination, there's two messages I'm getting as I'm continuing the reading. And one is to share, how do you start divination? How can you use this spread just to connect to your angels, to your spirit guides, ancestors, to the divine, to then, once you have that connection, then how do you use this space to ask other questions and find out? And so for those that's the message, this is how you begin. For those who are asking about a particular situation that you're looking for some guidance, some wisdom, some empowerment on, whether it's, do I apply for that job that I just saw posted and it's totally different than what I do, but it's something I've always wanted to do? Or if it is, you have a side hustle and your regular, in your day-to-day, and now you're thinking maybe you just want to put in more effort to that side job, and or whatever it is. Like, we are living in some different times that are still restricted, but maybe this is talking, maybe you're asking about how do you create more social networks? How do you put yourself out there if you want to start meeting new people, or if there's a hobby? So if you are asking around a particular situation, this is really saying that situation is encompassing, this is the right time to embark on something through a channel of creativity and of desire that you have been holding on to but maybe haven't taken the leap on. This is a clear message to go ahead and do so. Let's see, how can I embrace my feminine side? We have the Empress. I really love how it, for as long as I've used tarot and divination myself, it's like almost a tongue-in-cheek joke amongst my family and friends that we still get shocked by the messages when they so align. So, you know, if the question is, how can I embrace my feminine side? And you get the Empress is like the ultimate feminine card in the deck. And so how do you embrace it? It's by embodying this Empress energy, sitting in your throne of total abundance. You know, this was Carmenta's, you know, divination spread, and she's all about, you know, fertility, whether it's literal or birthing projects and ideas. You know, she, you know, had these powers of prophecy, and she protected, you know, mothers, and and she really is like this total goddess power. And so how do you, you know, how can you embrace that? It's by sitting in there. I would say, you know, if it's an uncomfortable place to be for you, years ago it was suggested to me, for me to really tap into more of that feminine energy that's really centered in our heart space. I started doing more activities in water, swimming, taking baths, walking near the water, anywhere where the energy could flow like really fluidly, and without holding back, and really sinking in, you know, letting myself be free in that space. And so I would say that really how we embrace that feminine side is what that means to you, and how do you sit in that throne and really situate yourself, plant yourself, ground yourself in who you are, and really let yourself feel all of the emotions that come with the moment in which you're asking about, and what you're asking about, and what you're really being called to in this moment. Like I said, if it is, you know, really learning the practice of divination, how do you surrender to this higher offering from an angelic realm, a realm that's unseen, that you need to have full, you know, surrender to trust that there is this other realm that is being offered to you. So how do you embrace that side? That feminine side is that fully surrendering and really being in your feels, and letting that sort of wash over you, knowing that you are seated at the throne of your essence of who you are. And this is gender doesn't apply here. It's that energy of just emotions flowing, and feeling everything, and being okay with that. And like I said, that full surrender feeling, that you are letting go of needing to know an outcome, but more than anything, what you're surrendering to is knowing that whatever needs to happen will happen in its divine time, and in a way that serves your best life's purpose. And that's how we embrace our feminine side. And this Empress reminds us of that. What is ready to bloom within me? The Magician. Again, shouldn't be surprised, but I get surprised. I get shocked. The Magician is if she's the ultimate feminine energy goddess of the deck, the Magician is the full embodiment of exactly the Magician, manifesting what you want, getting what you desire. So what is ready to bloom within you? You know the answer to that. What is it? What is it that you're looking at divination? And like I've said, whether it's you want to learn the practice of this, I will have the information on how to do this spread, and you can very specifically ask about a particular area that you're wondering about. But what that area is, it's within you. What is your desire? What is your wish? What is something, you know, looking back, I don't want to go off a tangent, but I'm about to here. So when on January 1st, I did the vision board spread. So I've been thinking, I had some people had commented and emailed me about it, and I may go back to it. I'm not sure, but I may include it. Maybe if I remember, I'll do it in this video, which is to include some links for apps that you can have on your phone to do vision boards on your phone. So sometimes people don't have the time to sit and craft and do a vision board. So there are apps where you can do them on your phone, and then they're really accessible. So wherever you are, you can look at your vision board all the time, and you can have different vision boards for different areas. They have some really cool apps and they're free. So I would definitely look into that if you are interested, but also as a way to have that vision board close, or you take a picture of your vision board and you carry it around with you. But this is a good reminder of what is ready to bloom within you. Is, I would say, start with that. What did you say on January 1st? 14 days ago, today's the 15th, so 14 days ago, what did you say? What did you put down there? What are those images of what's inside of you? And that's what's ready. Like, look at all of them. What area really seems to call to you the most? And that's the area that is really ready to bloom and take root and grow. And with this magician energy, you're being told just very directly that which is within you is ready to bloom and will bloom. That is what you're being told. And again, like we have the Empress here, the Chariot. It's all about not stopping until we get to the destination which we want, which is this, right? What is that desire that we have? This Ace of Wands, again, this start today. Like, today is the day you kick this off. There's balance. You're being offered that. In terms of an answer, if you were asking about a situation, a very particular one, this is so far, right? This reading is telling you that this is the moment to jump off and do it. This should provide for you that empowerment to launch what it is that you've been thinking about. So here we have why might I settle for less than I'm worth? What a great question. So when we start to really put into words our desires out loud, I've mentioned this in past readings, which is you don't have to scream them from the rooftops or even tell them to anybody. It's enough for you to voice them out loud to yourself, just outside of your head, but into words. If you write it out, some way that makes that desire, that wish, tangible to see. So it's not just floating in your head, but that it's written out. It's somewhere you can physically see it, or you heard it, out loud. Once you do that, but that's tough, and that takes a lot of courage in many instances. To put that out there is frightening. And so sometimes what happens is that even in those instances where we let go and we do it and we have that full surrender and we want to accept and we believe and we trust, doubt is, it's right there living with our ego and our shadow lying underneath. And so when we feel really secure and comfortable in what we're doing and what we're asking for, we'll have that little residual of, but in case I don't get it, I'm totally happy with what I am and I'm really grateful. And we have the tendency to do that. I'm going to make this really big wish. I want to, make a lot of money and work half the time that I do. And I want to eat all the carbs that I want to eat and never gain any weight. And then you're putting it out there and you're doing all that. And then in the next sentence, you'll say something like, but if I don't, I'm still really grateful for what I have because I want to be present and grateful in this moment. And so, it's okay. Now, I get that. But right now, the message is don't do that. This Page of Swords is telling us that the reason we end up settling for less than we are worth, it's that we get in our heads. This is a more immature, sort of younger perspective, less life experience perhaps, and it's all about being overly, I would say, almost intellectual and about things, just really overthinking things. And so the reasons we end up settling for less than your worth is you get inside your head. See, here we had and the juxtaposition of energies, this is a court card, but this is a major arcana card. So this is a much more stable energy long term. This though is also can be pretty long term. If we were going to do this in terms of time frames, I would just for a sort of comparison for you and your that you can do quickly would be, years here versus maybe months or weeks, I would say here. And so if that helps situate the energy, the strengths of energy. But here, if she's here asking us to have that full surrender, just full belief that what we're wanting will happen, we will get to our desired, destination. This Page of Swords that ends up having us settle for less than we're worth is the overthinker, the one that's like, sure, I believe all of this, yes, but if if I want $1 million every 6 months to be comfortable, I will settle for $1 million a year. It still sounds great and big, and I'm still in that frame, but I'm saying that. I mean, that's an exaggerated example, but the point is that this energy of why we end up settling for less than we're worth is the overthinking that creeps in. And what creeps in and overthinking is we start pulling everything apart, and we want full confirmation, dates and times and flavors and scents and everything of when we're going to have our desire, when we reach that place, the place that we want, that's blooming inside of us, and we want to know yesterday how and when we're going to get there. And when it seems too nebulous and too out there, too whoop whoop about stuff, we overthink and overthink, and that overthinking inevitably is, doubts and some fear starts seeping in, and before you know it, you're making concessions and you're settling for less than what you were asking, less than what you're worth, because we have the Magician here, we have Temperance, we have a lot of really solid energy indicating to us that what we want is available to us. And yet we'll settle for less because we overthink things. We get in our heads. It also has to do, like I said, it's not so much an age that I'm thinking about maturity. I'm thinking more about life experiences. And so if what you're desiring is nothing you've experienced before, you have a lack of knowing what that would be like. And so when we don't know something, it's really hard for us to imagine it. So it's really easy to settle for less than what we had wanted, because even just a little bite of it is great. And so we feel like, okay, that's enough. Like, I got this much of it, I'm good. It's almost scary sometimes when it's the message I'm hearing is that fear of success is almost greater here than fear of failure. So you gain a little bit of what you want, and it's so great that you're like, I'm done. Let me just stop there. I don't want to ask for more or take too much. Or, we have this, it's almost like an anchor of guilt I'm getting around just wanting and asking and being open to receive. And that's why we end up taking less than what we're worth. We got to get out of our heads. I would start with grounding my root chakra and really focusing on my heart space, this eternal love, happiness, harmony, fulfillment, reminding us of this. And so 24 card breaks down to a 6. And we are in 2022, which is a 6 vibrational year. And it's all about balance and harmony, happiness. That is the theme, the energetic theme of the year. So let's get out of our heads there. So how do I fix this? I really should just read all the questions first and then scan the cards. That's why I shuffle on camera, because I feel like if I was watching this and they hadn't shuffled on camera, I would have thought that they picked each card to make sense. So how do I fix this, right? Why might I settle for less than I'm worth? How do I fix this? The 5 of Wands is, literally too many cooks in the kitchen. So if this is all in your head, overthinking stuff, this is not only are you overthinking stuff, but you're talking to people about it. And now you're talking to people not that are in this not even shared. The shared space is all about gossipy and too many opinions that are further removing you from this path. So remember, there's 4 cups here. There's 3 cups in front of this person, and they're being offered one, and they're almost like bored about it. Now, I there's multiple interpretations, but what we see, and for this spread, they're being offered more, right? Here's another cup. Here's more. Here's another, you know, here's another hand. More is being offered, right? Like there's just continually the magician, just more and more being offered. Now, if there's the you get that doubt and you start thinking, well, could this really be true? So, I did a divination spread. I saw this thing on YouTube. I asked some questions. I really felt like this reading was speaking to me. So I did my own spread. And it's true. I'm getting all these messages. It's time to manifest whatever I manifest. I'm sitting in my power. I am this goddess. I am this power, and I can have whatever I want. I'm really feeling it. And then you're thinking about it, and you're like excited about this, and little things are happening, and all of it. You're doing the work. You're moving towards it. You're feeling good. And now maybe there's a couple days, or maybe there's some time. Sometimes some things are stagnant. Things aren't moving exactly as fast as you had hoped, or and then you're hanging out with some people. I mean, it could be friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, whoever it is. And you're hanging out with some people, and they're like, wow, I know that you're like, good for you. You're doing all these great things. And you're like, yeah, but I'm kind of feeling like I'm losing some momentum. I've been doing my divination, and I'm really anchoring into, listening to my intuition and being guided by my spirit guides. And suddenly there's like a little shift, and they're like, what? What are you talking about? And you're like, oh no, I've said too much. This is not that. This is the wrong crowd. And now they're like, oh my gosh, I've heard about that. Do you believe that? Because I had somebody that did this, and you know what happened? And I know somebody that went to a reader, and they told her this, and that didn't happen. And you know what I heard? And pretty soon there's all these, opinions and commentary, and you're coming off of this, right? You said a link for Less Than Your Worth already. So you were already seeking to discuss this with other folks here. And now we've got this whole, if you were already, sifting through some self-doubt or just doubt in general and some fears, now you've got all these people in there with their commentary. And how you fix it. And okay, so I don't know what the next question is going to be, but I see the hangman here, and but let's just go to this person here. How you fix this little bubble of way too much going on, and too much thinking, and too many cooks in the kitchen having opinions about what is it they don't know anything about, is you need to go back to this quiet moment underneath the tree. You're sitting on the grass, you're rooted, you're grounding, you're remembering, look at these orange and yellows. You're remembering, what was our creativity? What was the drive? What was the passion? What is this thing that's inside of you that's ready to bloom, that you're working towards? Go back, quiet, just you, and sit. Remember, you're this goddess energy, and you're being offered anything you want. So let's quiet this out. Let's get back to this quiet space, and let's imagine or remap the road that we're on. So how we fix this lack of, or settling for less than we're worth, and all this noise, is we need to quiet it. Meditation will always be the tool, in my opinion, to quiet the noise. What empowering belief does Carmenta want me to incorporate? The Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man can also represent this stagnation, right? This feeling like you're literally hanging, and you're just waiting in limbo. Maybe if she's balanced, if this angel here is balanced, the Hanged Man can, you're just hanging there waiting. But if you look at this, they're also kind of like chilling, hanging. They're not in sort of desperation hanging. It really is a pause. Right? Hang tight, pause. So what Carmenta wants, an empowering belief for you to incorporate, and again, I can't make this up, too much overthinking on your own, and then bringing in a bunch of people that are not on your journey or on the same on their own journey, but are still caught up in this. I mean, all I can think of is this like traffic jam, like gridlock, and how if you know there's going to be a bunch of traffic down this one road and you always take it anyway, and maybe if you took that pause, you could remap a different way to get where you need to go, and there would be less of this congestion. And that's the belief that she wants us to incorporate, that's really empowering, is to know that we can reset and start over whenever we want. We have this opportunity to start anew. And all we need to do is remember to just pause, hang in there. Nothing's changing. You just got to resituate your thought process, because we have this little congestion. I mean, this is like this beautiful, anything you want is at your disposal, and then we get all up in our heads here. And so her empowering belief that she wants us to incorporate is to recognize, if we started here, and this is why journaling is, I think journaling is so great as a tool, to keep track of stuff. I keep a book. It's like for record keeping. It was like for sort of accounting purposes, but I do it of my readings and messages. And sometimes when I'm really upset and I know I'm in this area right here, like I know it, I feel it. It's just all the voices and, people you're talking and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. And now this person's giving me all these opinions, but maybe they're right, because gosh, when I hear sometimes what I'm saying, oh my, but I know that this is it. And it's just so much. I'll just go to the record book and I'll just open a page and I'll start reading, and like a reading, and I'll start laughing when I start reading a spread like this and I see the questions and the cards that came up. And if I saw this today, or if I look at this in a week, a month, a year from now, and I see these cards, why might I settle for less than I'm worth? How do I fix it? And then what is an empowering belief that Carmenta wants me to incorporate? I would laugh. I would have a really good chuckle, and we know laughter is good for our health, so it would be a really great day. And I would be reminded to hit that pause button. Know that everything is moving according to divine plan, that I've had that full surrender, because I know I am worthy, and I know I possess all of this great energy, and that inner goddess that we all have within us, that what is in bloom inside, what is inside of me is ready to bloom. Because if I'm thinking it up, or if I've had any desire towards it, then it's mine to have. And so when I let too much of this enter, I need to hit the pause button, hang in there, hang tight, and get myself back on this chariot path, right? On that, clear direction of what I bring to this world, is that clear knowing, that path from A to Z of how I need to get to where I want to go, and that I'm being guided for that. So taking that pause. And our last card here is, what is Carmenta's personal message to me? And the Queen of Swords. So her personal message is just like, so I'm hearing two things here. So the one is, just to reiterate, this Empress is like Carmenta, right? She represents this fertility, this spiritual growth, creativity, gratitude. She's like the mother archetype, and it reminds us to connect with our imagination, our earth energies, the natural world, right? To cultivate grounding and peace, which I pulled from the deck of, Gaia for that reason. And that's reminding us eternal love. So this Empress here, it's like we really did invoke this spirit of Carmenta for this divination spread. And she showed up right in the place that we would have wanted her to, right? How can I embrace my feminine side? And she represents all of these energies through the Empress that she possesses as well. And so her final message, or her really personal message to each of us, is the Queen of Swords. She is, if the Page of Swords is a little jumbled up in their thoughts, the Queen of Swords is not. She's direct, with her words, with her thoughts, with her direction, because she is clear. She doesn't have this, like I said, there's a bit of an immaturity in the thought processes sometimes of the pages. And in this spread, this one is representing that lack of, still learning, still growing, but overthinking things. And so not being super clear, but just being stuck in the thought process of what's happening next. The Queen of Swords is not. So there's all these clouds here, and there's like birds. There's there's a lot going on, and the page is sort of in the middle of it, trying to clear that up. And then we have this Five of Wands right next to it. So here we are, the Magician. What's gonna bloom inside? Anything you want. And now you have all of this happening, and then there's even more. So anchoring it is anything I want is there for me to take. All these other cooks in the kitchen telling you way too many things, and you're trying to decipher. This page is like, what do I do? And then it's getting cloudy. It isn't getting cloudy. There's birds. I hear them. I see them. Are those messages from my angels, or is it more talk like you're stuck here? As a personal message, Carmenta reminds us, look, clear skies. She's above. She is above the clouds. There's one bird, one messenger, one hand offering you whatever it is that you can desire. Look, they even align that way. Here's the one messenger offering you what is in bloom inside of you. Tap into your creativity, your desire. What is, your imagination, the earth energies here right now. What is that spiritual growth, creativity, gratitude, that eternal love, anything you want? This is your moment to jump off. It is being offered to you, whatever you desire. And this personal messages, it. Here it is. I'm giving it to you with full clarity, full knowing. I am your one messenger. I would be on the lookout for birds as potential messengers in the next coming days or weeks from when you see this. I would say pay attention if you're somewhere and you're thinking about this and you hear a bird or you see a bird or something comes through. That's that affirmation, that symbolism, right? The synchronicity of something coming to fruition, because it's that clarity. It's not all this messiness of too much noise. It's clear. It's above all of it. And you know that. And that is Carmenta's personal message to you today as you invoke your powers of your inner powers of goddess that we all have within us. I hope you enjoy this one. I hope you sit with it, and maybe I'm going to put in the description, I'll put the spread. So if you'd like to, again, ask a very particular question around a situation, but if not, just as a whole collective reading in regards to divination and using spirit to help guide us, the message was very clear. Spirit is here to work with us. Our angels are here to work with us. The spirit here of Carmenta is here working with us. And we just need to have full surrender, full faith into ourselves and who we are and what we believe in, what we desire, and without any doubt. And when we have that, and it's going to happen, we're going to get into this little pocket here, hit that pause button, take a moment, and remember full clarity, because we're being offered anything we want. I will see you again tomorrow.